This is the second in a series of lean finance strategy sessions on acquiring business financing. Company goes out to seek financing, whatever stage, whatever life cycle it's in. They have a broad range of people they can choose from or groups. They can go to the financing from the founders and the management team. They can seek out friends and family and related people. They can go to banks for debt financing, or they can seek out money from individuals we like to call angels, or what I like to call adventure capitalists. Individuals or teams of individuals who have earned money from selling companies that they ran or inherited money and like the thrill of being able to invest in startups and such. And then, of course, the next group is venture capitalists, institutional funds that that take other institutional funds like from pension funds, like from insurance companies, and try to invest it to create a large return. And then finally is the government and nonprofit grant and loan programs. Today what we'd like to talk about a little bit on founder financing. This is just some data that comes a lot from Scott Shane in his book Illusions of Entrepreneurship. Scott Shane is a professor at Case Western Reserve, and some really interesting research that he's done over time. In the U.S., just some background, 50% of entrepreneurs when they start their companies plan to have less than $100,000 in annual revenue by year 5, by their 5th year of existence. 50% of those businesses, the founders, plan to have less than 5 employees. And the median startup capital, not the average, but the median startup capital for a company in the United States, remember that's over 800,000 to 1 million startups every year. The median startup capital, $25,000. And only about 4% of startups ever expect to generate more than $10 million in revenues by the 5th year of existence. And finally, what industry you're in makes a big difference as to your attractiveness for investment. Why we want to publish this data is that a majority of small businesses will never seek or need or be a good target for outside investment. It's just the realities of the situation. But also, based on the type of company you are, that's going to really, your growth expectations, your history and such in your industry, that's going to really provide you with direction as to what type of investor you seek. When you go the family and friends route, some people call it the 3 F's, friends, family, and fools, but we'll leave that for a later day. What we like to call friends and family is a passive investor group. Typically, they loan their money, they give their money in the form of stock or a loan, and they pretty much hands off. What's kind of interesting is that of these passive investors, almost over 90% are friends and family. So a majority of these passive investments, usually a small dollar amounts, they come from family members or associates that never ever just provide the money and pretty much that's it. Maybe if they get a return from it, they do, but almost like a grant to the family. Of these 92% that are closely related to the entrepreneur, half are close family. So you can think of the pluses and minuses of that when you seek friends and family financing. One of the nice things about friends and family investment is that usually they're not going to spend a lot of time negotiating, and they're also going to have less of a return requirement. I mean, I think a lot of people, when they get involved in these type of investments, if they get paid back, that's great. If not, it's just considered almost like a gift to the entrepreneur. Other advantages: you seek money from friends and family. Usually, you can obtain the money real quick. Lots of times, you have flexibility in paying back. And when I say flexibility in paying back the interest, I don't mean interest on the loan necessarily, but paying back the interest, paying back to the interest or income to the family member or friend. And because they are passive, they're going to usually keep their hands out of the operations. They're just going to provide you with the money and let you do with it what you can. Of course, the disadvantages are numerous. Usually friends and family members, most cases, they don't have a lot of sophistication with startups. And this can lead to some problems. First off, in some families, and of course with close friends, you've got the emotional attachment. And if the investment doesn't work, if it gets lost, you can think of how that will play out over time, especially at holidays like at Thanksgiving when the family gets together. Also, a lot of other investors, venture capitalists, angels, banks, they may be very wary or worrisome about putting money into a company where there's already lots of friend and family investment involved because of that emotional tie and the problems that can occur long